Looks like we're live. It is the Frank Monday Live Drive Jive Archive. Try to go live for 5. I strive to go live for 5 just to stay alive. What do you say? Good morning, brothers and sisters in the universe. Wow, folks running out into traffic. That's pretty typical. Hey, looks like someone's tuning in. Good morning, Sandra Sue. How are you? Hope you're doing well. We have got beautiful sunny weather in the capital this morning. It is Friday, May 7th, 6:15 a.m. This is the earliest I've gotten out in a couple of weeks. So I'm doing good, feeling good. Batteries recharged. I was doing good work in Dreamland last night. Don't remember exactly, well, I don't remember at all really what was going on, but I do recall the return trip. As I've talked about in the past, as I go off into Dreamland, up the mountains of madness to visit the Invisible College at the top, the Great Hall of Athena. I work all night, and then in the morning I have these conversations with whoever I was hanging out with and talk about returning to the world. And so the last 4 or 5 days, that has been very vivid. That impression of being taught spiritual things, secrets, gnosis, and then the returning to the world, and those things being hidden from my mind. I do believe that with persistence and determination, some of those hidden things will be revealed to me. The ones that I am entitled to know. Looks like you're chiming in there with a few comments. I cannot read the comment box while I drive, though. That is far too dangerous. So I will just assume. I won't assume anything. I will just tell you guys all about it. The last few days have been very windy, which is both good and bad, as you know. It's been blowing a lot of branches into the road. I haven't seen any downed trees though. They keep in the city here, they keep the trees trimmed pretty tight, so that they don't let them get over a certain height before they lop off the tops. Wow, got a Suzuki over here. Looks like maybe a 750. Little 750 Suzuki crotch rocket, blue. Yeah, so they keep the trees topped off so that we don't get widowmakers hanging into traffic. But the smaller branches get blown out. There's that Suzuki. So that brings us to Loudzs idea of the effect of Tao on humankind, on mankind. And how you have to make your character in order to be to be long lasting. So trees and grass and plants and so on and so forth follow nature's law. And if you become rigid and dogmatic, rigidness is metaphorically compared to being dogmatic or very set and stubborn in your beliefs, then the winds blow and they will knock those things over which are of a rigid and dogmatic nature. What's this guy doing? Keep on up there, ass hat. There's always that one guy that's just out lollygagging, you know? And it's never just one, but there's always one within your vicinity that chooses to lollygag. So this is a perfect example of what Loudzs is talking about, that the strong winds come in and the rigid gets snapped off and blown over, whereas the flexible and the malleable, they are preserved. They bend to the wind. It's guys like this that are just not even keeping up with traffic, out first thing in the morning, looking at their phone, checking text messages as they drive, that just are antithetical. They're stubborn and hostile towards the natural way, and they will be blown low. I've been listening to Thomas Sheridan recently, and he thinks that part of the elite's plan is just that, to do away with the people that are gullible and will unthinkingly just follow orders of the authority figures. That if you listen to them and follow them, then that's their goal, is to eliminate you. So if they say, hey, everybody take the jab, the needle, what does he call it? Needlework, and you do that, then they're trying to get those. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with that type of thinking. Again, being too fixed in your beliefs is not the way of nature. You should abide by and understand and try to harmonize yourself with universal laws and the subtle way. That's one thing that I do have not a fixed belief in, but a firmer understanding the older I get. So I was listening to Steiner this morning, Rudolf Steiner, and a series of audio lectures about 6 hours long. I got to listen to about 45 minutes of it, where the conversation was about the time span between death and rebirth. There are two huge deceptions or conspiracies that are perpetrated in the mainstream media against man and the development of his soul. Two big ones. A kind of mass hypnosis and deception brought about by scientific materialism, which folks these days, you would suspect that a vast majority of them believe in this so-called science, which is nothing more than the measurement and collection of data perceivable by the five senses, the great deceivers. So, the number one deception of scientific materialism is that this is all there is. The body generates the consciousness, and this material plane is all there is. And I mean, it's just so farcical and such a scam. So they pit a false dichotomy against each other in the relative sphere. And this false dichotomy takes the form of a taiji, where a conundrum, where on the one side they say this is science, the collection, empirical collection of data and what we know. And then they, on the other side of that false dichotomy, they put religion and say, if it's not science, then it's religion. But those aren't the only choices. There's other choices. There's other paradigms. And one of those other paradigms is the mystery of gnosis. So that's the first great deception perpetrated against man in modern times. Now, we're not extending all the way back through historic times, because it's varied in degrees and it changes from era to era. But in this current era, the number one great deception is the absence of soul and spirit and no understanding of the astral and ethereal bodies, or the dimensional layers of being. What's the second great deception, you ask me? Right? So I mentioned there was two. Alrighty, traffic is turning into a clusterfuck. A bunch of assholes and idiots. I got a guy in a Peugeot in front of me, and he's doing nothing. He's on the expressway doing 60 kilometers in 120 zone. He's literally going half the safe speed. Oh my gosh, really? I was gonna say, oh my gosh. Look at this guy. What's he doing? He's smoking a cigarette. He's got a cigarette in one hand and an electric razor in the other. So he's smoking a cigarette and shaving in the express lane. That is too fucking much, man. Good for you, sir. Good for you. You're gonna fucking be fortified in nicotine, fortified with your nicotine, and well cleanly shaven by the time you get to where you're going, which is gonna take you 2 to 3 times the amount of time it should at that speed, and doing it in the express lane. So the number 2 great deception, I will say for the next video. I will remind you, this is the FM radio live drive jive. I hope y'all good looking, sexy, fucking happy, go lucky cocksuckers assholes and idiots, and all y'all good-looking, happy, friendly mendicants and supplicants, my brothers and sisters, all y'all who happen to stumble on this video. I hope you are doing well this morning. I love and care for you, and we'll talk to you very soon on the next video. Bye for now.